I'm going to be showing and teaching you guys how to paint the ceilings in your house. Now, you can paint your ceilings in your house if you guys are living in there, no big deal. It's just going to take a little bit of prep work. So what you want to start by doing is making sure all of your floors are covered. Use paint or drop cloths, some extra bed sheets, whatever you guys have to make sure all of your floors get covered. Once all of your floors are covered, then you want to cover all of your base. Take your tape and cover your base. If you have a paper machine like you guys see on those windows that are covered, you could do a paper machine with tape just to make sure no splatter gets on the woodwork of the base. Then, as you guys see and I just talked about, cover up all of your windows. Now you can typically just drop plastic around the entire area. Now what I mean by that is where you see that tape line on top of those windows with the paper, you would do that with plastic all the way around. But we are painting the walls, so we're not worried about getting ceiling paint on the walls. If you're not painting the walls, do that all the way around with plastic. I'm going to just reiterate, the tape machine that is on top of that window in the corner right on the bottom of the screen, you would do that with plastic. You would draw your line with tape and then you would drop 12-foot plastic down to keep the walls clear. Then you want to cover up your lights. Now in this video you guys are seeing we were painting with can lights. So we just pull them out and then we paint around them. Now, once everything is prepped off, and I mean everything, the top of your lights, because when you are rolling, there are going to be paint specks falling on top of you and on the ground from that roller. So you want to make sure everything is covered. Once everything is covered, then you want to brush in everything like you guys have been seeing. Brush in all the edges that the roller will not be able to get to. Brush around all of the lights that are pulled down. And then paint a coat as you guys are seeing. Now when I'm painting, I put it on messy and then I go back and I do a very nice and even finish on it. That way when it dries, everything is even, it is a smooth finish, and there are no imperfections such as a heavy roller mark or anything like that. Now, this was the second coat on the ceiling. We did paint the first coat earlier and we were doing the same color, but the sheen beforehand was eggshell. So when we came back after lunch and everything was dry, we could see that some of the eggshell sheen was shining through. So this is me painting the second coat. You guys can tell by the light of it, when it is wet, it looks like it has a shine to it. When it dries, it will be completely flat. But with it having that shine to it, you can easily see where you guys are at while painting. If you guys are doing big ceilings like I am, and you guys are about to see later on in the video. Also, if there are any specks in your roller from the paint being out all day and it started to dry, make sure you guys are picking those out because you do not want those in your ceiling. Another thing you guys want to make sure of is you are keeping it wet the whole time. Now with flat paint, that isn't that big of a deal. But if we were doing an eggshell or something with a sheen, we would want to make sure we were keeping it wet the whole time. And then as you guys are seeing right now, when I did get this section done, if it was eggshell, I would want to go from the start of the wall all the way to the end of the wall on the ceiling in a straight pattern to make sure that it all was a unique and uniform finish when you are done. Now, I am using a 4 to 8 for this. A 4 to 8 is a pole. It goes from 4 to 8 feet. Most of the time I have it at about 6 to 7 feet. Right now I believe I have it at 8 feet because I am working in a smaller area. And as you guys, well, you guys can't see, but there is a little area over there. And I don't really need my pole extended. But now I will extend my pole here in a little bit, or I probably should have, because I could have gotten a lot more done. I could have probably gotten 2 or 3 feet more per go. Now this area is all done. Now I'm going to move on to the next area. Now as you guys can see what I was talking about with that eggshell shining through, if you guys see some of those shiny spots shining through towards the end of this little ceiling I'm painting, that is why you need to put 2 coats. Now you guys can see I'm putting on just enough paint. I'm not putting on too much. I'm not putting on too little. I'm going back over all of my work, making sure it is on there nice and consistent, and the paint is on there evenly. And then I go back over it, and like I said, I just make sure it's on there because you do not want to see any imperfections, especially on this ceiling because it is dropped down 3 to 4 feet compared to the rest. Now, while I am rolling out this ceiling, he is cutting in front of me. He is going around making sure all of the edges are brushed in, all the lights are brushed in, and all I have to do is just roll. Now, if you guys are on the brush, make sure you guys are a decent amount in front of the guy rolling. Otherwise, you're just going to be getting unnecessary paint on you and be in the way of the roller. As you can see, he is about an entire room in front of me. And then I will start to roll this out, and then once this room is done, all of the ceilings in this house are done, and we will be painting the walls. Now, we are painting the same color on the walls. If you guys want to see a video on how to paint the walls, let me know, and I can make one. Anyways, enjoy the rest of this time lapse. Have a good one.